Hi, Gooby here. Today I'd like to talk about things to think about if you think your neighbor wants to hurt you. I'm here with Doobie. We are out on a nice forest stroll together. She's, I think, doing really well. She looks really strong and alert and interested in life, and that makes me happy. I feel the same way. I feel pretty strong, pretty interested in life and being alive. And we're both moving. We're both alive. Well, why am I talking about this today? Well, there's a lot that's been happening in my country, which is the United States, over the last, it's been going on for a while. But some of it's come to a head in the last week or so. And I noticed some things. I noticed some things about people thinking that some other people want to hurt them or kill them or make them disappear. I've also seen people say that they want to make other people hurt or killed or disappeared. And so I've just been wondering about that. I've been thinking about it, and I was like, what do you do? What do you do when your neighbor wants to hurt you? Is it true? Is it true that your neighbor wants to hurt you? I think that's probably a good place to start. Is it true? Well, let's see here. How do you know if your neighbor wants to hurt you? Well, it's pretty easy if your neighbor shows up at your door face to face and says, I want to hurt you, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to make you disappear. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But a lot of cases, it's not like that. It's more of, oh, hey, that person said that they want to hurt you or kill you or make you disappear. And you're like, what? Why would they say that? I think it's really important to look at the source of that information. Where did that information come from? Was it social media? Is social media making me think that people want to hurt me? Well, social media makes money by by promoting incendiary posts that start a fire, that incite fear. Fear is a very powerful force. Fear can make a lot of money. So if the information came from social media, whether that's Facebook or Reddit or Instagram or YouTube, I would really really take that with a huge grain of salt, because social media makes money off of outrage. So of course they're going to promote outrageous things that may not be true. People make money off of it, and unfortunately people will do very unethical things to make money. So if your information that someone wants to hurt you is from social media, maybe it's not true. Maybe it is true, but there's a good chance it's not true. It's just some incendiary content that's promoted to get clicks. All right, well, what if it comes from mainstream media? Not social media, but like news corporations. Well, unfortunately, I don't think it's that much better because most news corporations are owned by billionaires. And billionaires, well, they're billionaires because they value money, and they value money over people's lives. So the news corporations that they run are going to do the same things as social media. They're going to go after clicks. They're going to write, quote, news, unquote, that may or may not be true, that may be completely false. But if it gets people to read about it and share it and post it on their social media and say, wow, this was totally false, or how outrageous this is, well, they've done their job of making money for that billionaire. It may even be more insidious than that. If you get people at each other's throats, I'm not talking about billionaires, I'm talking about regular people. If you get people at each other's throats, you can't trust each other, want to kill each other, well, then billionaire is pretty safe. They can keep exploiting everyone else. They can keep making money. They can keep posting news articles that aren't actually true to get people even more angry, and they make money along the way. Okay, so if my source that my neighbor wants to kill me is social media or the mainstream media, you have to really take that with a grain of salt. Unless there's like a video of that person actually saying, I want to hurt so-and-so, or I want to hurt that group of people that you just happen to be in. That's concerning. Which has been happening. But there's a lot of the former, where it's like, oh, such and such group, some boogeyman group, wants to hurt you. Better get rid of them. In fact, it'd be better if you just hurt them first, because they really want to hurt you, so you should just hurt them first. Yeah, when you start thinking that way, I think you really gotta look in the mirror and say, why do I want to hurt my neighbor? Why? Well, it's because they're going to hurt me. It's like, but do they really want to hurt me? If I hurt my neighbor, maybe I'm the bad guy. Well, unfortunately, I don't think that kind of introspection and reflection happens very much, at least in this day and age in my country. It's pretty much just kind of like just a steady consumption of hate from social media, from mainstream media, from if your source that your neighbor wants to kill you is from a politician, I'd really, 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 really take that with a grain of salt. Because what do politicians want? They want power. It's like the billionaires running mainstream media. They want money. Well, they also want power. And they do have power through controlling the narrative, putting in disinformation. Let's go this way, girl. Good girl. But a politician, they want power. They want their political enemies to be weaker. So if your source that somebody wants to hurt you is a politician, I'd really, really, really take some time to like think about it. Just think. It's like, why would they say that? What do they want to gain out of that by making me think somebody wants to hurt me? Now there are. So the first part of this talk is really assessing whether there is an actual danger or not, because fear is very powerful, as I said before. But fear is not the only thing that people feel. People feel all sorts of feelings. One of them is love. One of them is empathy. One of them is peace, happiness. Fear is not the only thing that we feel. It's just one of the feelings. Gratitude, appreciation, respect. There are a lot of feelings. I think it's very dangerous to just constantly consume fear-based messages through social media, especially because social media latches on to whatever will make you stay on there, and fear is very powerful. If you see a social media post about how grateful somebody is to be alive, and how they respect their neighbors, and their neighbors respect them, and how that despite differences, we all get along. Yeah, that post, unfortunately, is just not going to go very far in the algorithm. Whereas a post that talks about like how my neighbor wants to kill me, and they're so disrespectful, and they really don't deserve to be this or that. That's going to get way more clicks, views, eyeballs. And eyeballs equals advertisements, which equals money, which means people will buy stuff. Consumerism. It is unfortunately the way things are. Well, okay, let's see here. So I think that's the most important thing. Does your neighbor actually want to kill you? Because what I see a lot of is a manufactured boogeyman. Oh, this marginalized group wants to hurt, rape, kill, steal, wants to do all this stuff. They're less than human. We should get rid of them, whatever way, X, Y, Z. That's what I see a lot of. A boogeyman, making a boogeyman. But making the boogeyman other people. Whether that's someone with a different sexual orientation, someone with different skin color, shape of eyes. Oh, there's a really pretty Stellar's jay up there. Hi, Stellar's jay. They have beautiful blue feathers. Not a pretty bird call, but that's all right. Oh, the trees are so beautiful here. Bye, Stellar's jay. All right, I lost my train of thought looking at the Stellar's J. So I'll just start somewhere. Let's see. Hey girl, let's keep going. Yeah, doing a good job. Happy to be outside with my dog. Oh yeah, boogeyman. Marginalized groups. Deflecting unhappiness. Okay, we live in a tough time. We live in a time where a lot of what we built was based off of easy access to energy, fossil fuels. And that easy access is going away because we've already pumped and drilled and mined all the easy to access energy sources. As the energy gets less readily available, more expensive, our quality of life collectively decreases. Well, that leads to unhappiness, dissatisfaction, anger, resentment, blame. It sucks. It sucks for everybody. But it's very easy to fall into blame. Oh, my life sucks because of that person. Rather than saying, oh, it's actually tough for everybody. Well, except for maybe the billionaires, but it's tough for everybody. It just sucks. It sucks going through the very slow, gradual collapse of civilization. That takes that takes pausing and thinking about things, looking at the big picture. You might also, while you're pausing, say, it's really easy for me to blame others for something that's not really their fault. It's just what it is. Well, it's also easy to blame other people for things that I do, that I'm at fault for. That takes some introspection, which doesn't really happen very much these days. A lot of what I see online. Oh, we got a doggy coming. Okay, girl, we're gonna come up here. We're gonna chill up here. I'll protect you. My doggie's kind of reacted with other dogs, so we're just gonna wait here. We're just gonna wait here. Good girl. Here, you stand behind me. Okay. Hi. Hello. Okay. Crisis averted. Okay, let's see. Where was I? A lot of what I see these days is projection. Somebody claims the other person did something or is doing something, but it's actually themselves doing it. There's a lot of that. I see it in comments on this YouTube channel, but I see it everywhere. It's a common human thing to project the things you don't like about yourself onto other people, because that's easier than facing the truth of the fact that we all have sides of ourselves that we're not proud of, that maybe we would like to hide under the rug or lock in the basement and pour cement over the door. But the truth is, we all have that. Everybody, every single person. Even my dog, she has that too. it's hard. It's hard to face the ugly side of ourselves. The side that wants to destroy, the side that wants to hurt, the side that hates, wants to separate, wants to escape, run away. You know, those are all parts of ourselves. Everyone has that. But some people find it easier to blame others for the parts of themselves that they don't like. And I see that a lot. It's interesting because a lot of times I see that people like blame other people, and then they recount exactly the problems. Let's come over here, girl. Got some other hikers. You're a good girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. Hi. Hello. Have a good day. People will list the grievances of what this other person or group of people supposedly did, and it's literally what that person does. And like the ironic thing is, I think the irony is totally missed by that person, or maybe they do it intentionally. Maybe they know that if they deflect, then it confuses people, and people then don't suspect the accuser of doing whatever they're accusing other people of doing, because it is confusing. It is confusing if someone punches another person and then starts loudly yelling to other people, saying, "Hey, this person's punching me. This person's so dangerous. They're punching me." And then everyone comes and they're like horrified. Why would you punch him? But then it comes out later that it was actually the person yelling that punched the other person. Why would they lie about that? That's so confusing. Well, maybe precisely that's why they lie about it, because it is confusing. It tricks a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot. So yeah, the first part was, maybe your neighbor doesn't want to kill you. I mean, maybe it's just some people making money off of ridiculous, hurtful, hateful tweets or posts on social media, or mainstream media making money off of clicks on articles that they know are half-truths or false, because they know that division and hate sells ads. And so yeah, maybe your neighbor actually wishes you well. Maybe they don't even know. Maybe they don't even care about you. Maybe they're just so busy surviving in their own life that they don't have time to even think about other people. That's probably where most people are. So yeah. Yeah. Now, that's the first part. I think for most people, if you look around, just get to know your neighbors. Just talk to them. I mean, most of my neighbors that I know, they don't want to hurt me. They're pretty reasonable people. They just want to live a happy, peaceful life like I do. And some are swayed by social media or politicians or mainstream media, and the addiction to this news, and well, also, I mean, there are bots and AI posting. They're posting like all sorts of comments or social media posts that are designed to instigate division. I made a video a while ago talking about how AI is dangerous in swaying people's opinion because it's so effective. And people are like, well, if it came from AI or a human, it doesn't matter to me if the argument is a good argument. And my counter to that is, if you hear 1,000 arguments by AI and one by a human, and all 1,000 are saying a particular thing, well, then you're going to think that 1,000 people believe one way and one person thinks another. And if you don't know, hi. Hello.
Hi. You need to get that bobcat in your backyard immediately.
Yeah, if you don't know that it's AI, and you have 1,000, if you have 1,000 posts from AI saying one thing, and then one by a real person, well, then you're going to think that one person is wrong. You're going to say, oh, well, everyone believes this, so it must be true. But it wasn't everyone. It was an AI that was told to say something in particular. By who? By the person that can afford to make AI say that. The person with money. The person with an agenda. Yeah, okay. Well, those are the main things that at the beginning of the talk. Does your neighbor actually want to hurt you? Probably not. Probably not. Probably it's stirred up by people that want to make money off of division, or gain power over their political opponents and people. Okay, so that's one. But what if your neighbor actually really does want to hurt you? I've had that happen a couple times. It's very disturbing. That person actually says to your face, I'm going to hurt you. I want to hurt you. You know, you did such and such something or another. And it's like totally bogus, but they're convinced, and you can see it in their eyes, that you are, in their mind, the source of their misery. But in reality, you're not. The misery came into their life through their own choices. But they're convinced that you're the source of it. And because of that, because they can't allow themselves to introspect and see themselves and reflect about the consequences of the choices they made in their life, they cannot go there because it's too painful. They have to lash out their frustration and anger on you. Oh, now we are in a really weird, bizarre world where that person wants to hurt you for something that you never did. They want to hurt you because they can't face the truth of themselves. Well, shoot. What do you do? All right, here we go. Well, that's where it gets really disturbing, complicated. It's happened to me a couple times, and let's see, how did I handle that? Well, actually, both times. No. Well, it's happened like three times, I would say. No, yeah, 3 times in my life. Well, probably more, but no, maybe four times. There's a couple different ways I've handled that, and I'll just talk about some of them. Let's see here. One time I just tried to avoid. Sometimes avoidance works. Like, you just avoid the person. You don't talk to them. You don't go see them. You don't engage. If you have to see them, you literally just don't engage. You just go about your own life. Don't respond. There's the phrase, don't feed the trolls. Online there are trolls, both bots and real people that just like to troll. Or the bots are commanded to troll, and some humans just like to troll. Don't feed the trolls. If they feed off of frustration and anger and hate and fear. If you show that you're afraid or hurt or sad or whatever, they get joy out of that, and they'll keep doing it more and more. So disengaging is one. Separating, if possible, is one. But you can't always. What if you're it's your neighbor next door, and you can't move. You can't move, and they can't move, and you just got to figure out how to get along. Setting boundaries. That's I would say the next step. Saying, hey, look, this is my life. That's your life. This is my boundary, and you're going to respect that. And if they don't respect that, well, there's law enforcement. But honestly, I think the way that I found resolves this problem the best is speaking truth to that person. If you see that they're blaming you for something that they did to themselves, just say it. It's like, hey, you're blaming me for something that I didn't do, but you did to yourself. You are responsible for the unhappiness in your life. I literally said that to one person. And you know what? They never came back to bother me. I tried a couple different things, and they kept coming back to bother me. But when I told them, I'm not the reason why you're unhappy with your life, you are. They didn't want to hear that. Because I think deep down, they knew it was true. Deep down, they knew that they were at fault for their own life, and they wanted to take it out on someone else because it's too painful to face. But by me saying truth to that person, they could not avoid facing that in my presence. So, hi. Come on, girl. Good girl. So they never came back, because by putting a mirror in their face and saying, hey, look, this is what you look like. And they were like, oh my gosh, that's what I look like. I cannot go bother that person again, because they're gonna put a mirror in my face. I don't want to see myself. Well, that worked. That time. There was another time when someone wanted to beat me up just for being Asian. They kept calling me a derogatory name for Chinese, which I'm not even Chinese. I'm Korean. I'm American, but born and raised here. But my parents come from South Korea. Oh, this person wanted to beat me up. A total stranger wanted to beat me up for being Chinese. I was with my dog, and I had to pick up a rock and tell that person, hey, do you really want to go to jail? Because this is how you go to jail. But I had a rock in my hand too, and that person picked up a rock and was going to throw it at me and my dog. But I told him, it's like, dude, this is how you go to jail. This is how you ruin your life. And they kept yelling racial slurs and expletives, and I just walked away slowly, backwards, keeping my eye on them. Never saw them again. Yeah. Hi. So while the first part of this talk was talking about how a lot of times the fears we have about our neighbors are unfounded or implanted in our minds by propaganda and money-crazed media algorithms, both mainstream media and social media, there are times, which are not that often, that you will run into a neighbor that will want to hurt you, and you have to act. You have to do a couple things. Separation, boundaries, speaking truth, having a community. So having people to help you out. Any predator will go after the lone prey. Hi. You're a good girl. Just wait. You're a good girl. Just wait. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Good job. Yeah, you did a great job. Nice. Doobie did not react to those two big dogs coming by, or one big dog and one small dog. Yeah, most of the time it's fabricated, but sometimes it's real, and you gotta do something. Whether that's set boundaries, separate, speak truth, have a community of people that stand up for you because there's safety in numbers. And like I said before, most neighbors don't want to kill you. Most neighbors just want to have a happy, peaceful life and be respected and respect other people. And so the number of people that actually want to hurt and kill and divide and cannot coexist with their neighbors, I think is actually a very small minority. And so if you have the community come together and say, hey, look, yeah, we all agree that, man, times are kind of tough. Quality of life is not as good as it was a decade ago or 2 decades ago. It sucks, but we're going to get through this together as a community, together, with respect, boundaries, appropriate boundaries, love, support, empathy. Yeah. Well, if you do that, then the very small minority of psychopathic individuals that want to stir the pot, to amplify hate and division and spread lies, well, I mean, they out themselves. And everyone can openly talk about it. Wow, look at that person acting the fool. They think they can just convince everyone else to kill each other. Wow, what a messed up person. That person's really messed up in the head. Maybe we shouldn't have them in charge of our town. Maybe. maybe we should have someone in charge of a town that wants the good of everybody in the town. Well, I mean, that's what would make sense. But, humans aren't very logical. We're easily tricked by things. Our minds have susceptibilities, which are well known to people who spread propaganda. So, yeah, I think those probably what I've talked about so far probably covers like 99% of the situations. There's probably a 1% though that that person actually is going to come hurt you and kill you and make you disappear. Well, you got to fight tooth and nail at that point. Hopefully with a community. But I think it's like I think of it as like bear attacks. Here, come on, girl. Let's come over here. Hey. The chance of a bear attack is very low, especially black bears. Black bears are very skittish. Just like there's certain things you gotta do. Just don't leave your food out. Don't sleep next to don't sleep next to like half-eaten steak, on a cast iron skillet. Make some noise as you walk through the woods so you don't startle a bear and get attacked. And also, rarely do you have to, if you do get my GoPro battery ran out, so I had to change it. I was talking about a bear attack. If you do happen to have a confrontation with a bear, you don't have to kill it. You can do a few things. You can make a bunch of noise, wave your arms. If you have poles, wave them so you look really big. Don't run, because if you run, there's an instinct for the bear to chase you down. Just stand your ground, but you can also slowly back away. Just don't run away. Make a ton of noise, seem threatening, and gradually separate yourself from the bear. If the bear does attack, you still don't have to kill the bear. You can use bear spray. Bear spray is very effective. Very rarely would you actually be in a situation where you have to kill a bear. It'd be very, very unlikely. But social media and mainstream media are essentially pushing the narrative that you have to kill the bear because the bear is going to eat you. It's the equivalent, the metaphor. It's a metaphor. That's what they're pushing. There's, in most cases, there isn't even a bear. There's no bear. Or the bear is just minding their own business. As soon as they hear you, they go off somewhere else because they don't want anything to do with you. So, yeah, there is like a 1% situation where maybe you have to do something. Or you have to do something. Otherwise, you will die. But that's like very unlikely. Yeah. Those are the thoughts that go through my head when I'm just like reading mainstream media news, looking through some social media, and examining my own feelings about what's happening in my country, which is disconcerting. It's very disconcerting. Yeah. Seeing people blame others for their own choices, the consequences of their own choices. Seeing others create boogeymen out of nothing. Yeah. It's disconcerting. But I think that people receive what they put out. The energy, the vibes. I think in many ways we all create our own universe, what we experience. In a way, we kind of manifest things through our own actions. So I'm thinking, through this, I'm thinking, what kind of energy do I want to send out into the universe? Because that energy will probably come back to me. And that energy, that energy I want to share is, come on, girl, good girl, is energy of peace and respect and understanding and love. I'm not upset that a lot of my neighbors sometimes have a hard time facing themselves. I've done the same thing. I understand. It sucks. It's hard. It's not easy. I understand that people can be easily swayed by very effective propaganda and just money-driven media algorithms. I understand, and sorry girl, are you okay? I'm sorry. Here, let's sit up here. All right, good girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. I understand that we all have psychological vulnerabilities that are known to people that study that, and they take advantage of it, and people get taken advantage of. I mean, yeah, that happens. I don't hate people for falling for that stuff. You know, I understand. It's easy to fall for that stuff. I've fallen for it. So yeah, the energy I want to put out into the universe is one of understanding and peace. Like, hey, look, let's an introspection, reflection, and love. You know, just understanding. Hey, what we got going on, it's not easy to get through this, but we can choose to get through it in different ways. And I choose to get through it with you, my neighbor, and with me, with mutual respect, healthy boundaries, support, love, empathy. That's what I want to put out in the universe, because I think that what I put out in the universe will come back. Yeah, and that's what I really want. I don't want people to be divided. I don't want people to be slaves to billionaires. I just don't think that's right for the majority of people. there are things I can't change. I mean, I can't change that I'm here at this point in time when life is getting tougher for everybody, literally everybody. But I can choose to live through it with some understanding of the time I live in. And then also understanding of why people are reacting the way they are. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say today. Let me think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, I did want to say it is a very stressful time. I mean, it's been a stressful time. And if you find yourself overwhelmed, go outside for a walk. Disconnect from social media. Social media makes money by making you upset. Media too. Just go outside. Spend time with people you care about, or your doggy. Spend some time getting some fresh air and look at some water. Look at this beautiful water. And spend some time looking within, like examine the feelings that you have, and not run away from them or try to cast it out on somebody other than you. They're your feelings. That's okay. It's okay to feel those feelings. Yeah. Bye.